Not to brag, but the doctor said it was the biggest boil they had ever seen. Of course, I hadn't seen it because it was on my backside. But what came out of there was crazy. It was so voluminous and viscous.
This is insane, you guys.
Yo, this is sexy, man.
Broadcasting live from the internet, it's Tuesday night, and this is the PanelsOnPages.com podcast with your host, Lee Rodriguez.
At the end of the day, babies are terrible people, and I'm not sorry for saying it.
Jason Nyes.
Motherfucker, I won best costume!
Jose Guzman.
Yeah, I know nothing about Firestorm, except for his hat's always burning.
And Kelly Harris.
Boy, love, it appears we got a penis in the mail.
I glued my fucking eyes shut!
I just want to see all these Yelp reviews of Jose's jizz.
Oh, sorry, I knocked over the salt.
Like you had anything better to do.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Today is Tuesday, January 16th, 2018, and this is episode number 409 of the PanelsOnPages.com podcast. I'm your host, the Lord Reverend Lee Rodriguez, and joining me tonight, got Mr. Jason Nyes.
Also known as Tongue Ring Tammy from the mall Applebee's.
Ooh, that is very specific. Jose Guzman.
Your choice, lead or silver.
And Kelly Harris.
If we've learned anything in the past week, it should be that even if you can put your fingers in a woman's mouth, it doesn't mean you should.
You know what? Okay.
Looking at you, Aziz.
That's one part of the story that I just can't believe that, okay, I can believe sticking your fingers in her mouth to wet them to finger her, but sticking his fingers down her throat,
And the crab claw way he was doing it.
That's really hard to believe that someone would shove their fingers down your throat without any sort of consent.
While also doing, the peace sign.
Right, but, why? Why would you need to put it in someone's throat? And how do you know that's not gonna fucking cause a adverse reaction and they end up puking on your nice floor?
Maybe that's what he was going for. He's got a puke!
It was that part of the story where I was like, for real? Are you for sure?
Don't even read this shit anymore. The vibe I got was that for a minute there, oh shit, Zari's a dirtbag too, and then maybe he's not.
No,
Question
he's just
mark?
weird. He's not a monster. He's just weird.
And I wouldn't even go so far as to say weird, except for if he did indeed shove his fingers down someone's throat multiple times in order to finger them. I would say aggressive and oblivious.
Yes.
But then, you read that story and then it comes out, I saw a tweet last night that was, oh yeah, I've got an Aziz Ansari story too. So it's when you start seeing multiple stories that it's And then Kevin Spacey said the N-word.
Oh my god.
Did you guys see that story?
Yeah.
That's just super not a good look.
Or maybe he would rather have that than what he's been dealing with.
What if he's just check it out, guys, I'm black now.
You lose your career because of allegations of trying to diddle an underage boy, and then it comes out later that you said on the set of House of Cards that you don't want a bunch of N's guarding your things. Can we give him his career back so that we can then take it away from him again?
Just imagine Kevin Spacey sitting at home and his phone goes off and Google News alert, blink. Oh, let's see what they're saying.
Oh, there must be something nice.
And just quietly puts his phone down.
And then he goes, "Oh, that's right. I did call him that."
Yeah.
Remember Usual Suspects, guys?
Yeah.
That was good times.
That was.
That was good times.
He played a piece of shit in that one, so, surprise, surprise.
Flippy for real.
Oh, boy.
Greatest trick the devil played is making you believe it didn't exist.
Yeah. And then demanding that you don't let any N-words take a look at hell.
And then suck on my fingers before I bang you.
And it wasn't
Right.
suck on my fingers. He was moistening them to finger her.
Well, yeah, he saw it in porn. He saw some dude jam half his fist down her throat and said, lick it, and then fucking go elbow deep. And he was like, I can do that now. I'm rich. I have a hit show. She ain't gonna say shit.
I will say this about that Babe article, that quote unquote Grace's account of her date with Aziz Ansari. The first red flag that went up for me was when she said they met at his apartment and he gave her a glass of wine and it was a white, and she says, I would have preferred red, but I guess he wasn't asking my preference. I was like, come on.
Already bitching.
That's kind of silly.
The man had a drink ready for you, and you're bitching at what drink it is.
Like, I should have known what was going to happen.
I should have saw it coming. Once the dickhead broke out that white wine, date's over, sister.
Oh my god.
Never trust a rich guy who breaks out white wine first.
Strange times.
I want to know what is the exact correlation with these weirdos and breaking out white wine first. Does this math add up? Like,
I mean, you're going to have to do some kind of an independent study, Jose.
Before all of these Weinstein things, like he opened a bottle of white.
Speaking of weirdos, I love the clip you picked to lead the show off with tonight, Lee.
My God,
Last Man on Earth is so good, and that episode with Fred Armisen's character is one of the best.
What season are these guys on now?
Shit, it's like season 3. Yeah,
3, 4. Good for them.
And
it's such a weird little show.
Fred
Like,
Armisen's character is
they'll
so
forget
great.
it's a comedy. It's like, oh, this is just like either, oh my God, how fucking sad is this, or whatever.
Right.
And they did one episode last season where like none of the main cast are in it, and it was they kind of introduced Kristen Wiig's character, and she came back for a bit this season. And so last week they introduced us to Fred Armisen's character, who was a cannibal serial killer
who is locked up in prison.
When the virus hit, he was in prison. Like it was like him and a prison guard. And he, killed the guard like in a moment of fucking madness because the guard was gonna leave him there alone. And he's like just about to kill himself when he hears him coming. And now they think he's the prison guard, so they let him out and they think he's the guard, but he cannot be any more fucking weird and just.
I have
not okay.
We haven't watched
for a minute. He's trying to curb his killer instinct. He's trying to be like a better person.
Okay, me and Mary haven't watched this week's episode, but we did watch the,
then
the
I
Fred
will not spoil
Armisen
it for
episode.
you.
Okay.
But it is so weird.
You guys know how on Walking Dead, when they would have those 3 or 4 episode arcs where they show you what a character's been up to in the meantime while the action's going on, they take a break from the present day action to show you what the governor's been up to for 3 episodes. That's kind of the same structure of Last Man on Earth, but they do it in 1 half-hour episode. They give you the backstory on this character, what they've been doing since the virus hit.
Yeah, they'll spend 4.5 weeks on it. It's just there. It's in, and it's what's the word? Good. Consistently.
Love it.
It's good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. So yeah. What else have going on? See, I got to go on a date with my lady this weekend.
Ooh.
Nice. It'd been a hot minute. I think we hadn't gone out alone since October.
I bet you guys had a few hot minutes.
We had
Hey,
little
hit the
bit.
sounder. Hit the sounder.
Wait.
I'm gonna bang this bitch the fuck out!
Dun-dun-dun.
What leader in sports? It was
ESPN,
great though.
the global
went
leader
out,
in
did a little
sports.
shopping. I fucking picked up that crazy ass Mega Bloks Ninja Turtle Technodrome.
Oh,
Yeah, and that thing I believe had a price tag of something like $250 when it came out. It was not cheap. But I got it at a Ross for fucking $40.
Suckers.
Ross,
Like
dress for less. Also, here's a Technodrome.
Ross dress for less. Yeah, fucking $40 giant ass Lego set. Pretty goddamn pleased with it. Pretty happy with it. Can't complain. So I'll probably put that together while the lady's working on her Lego Ferris wheel. We got that big ass Ferris wheel for Christmas, so that's pretty rad.
And then the Technodrome blows up the Ferris wheel.
Oh, I'm gonna put it right next to the fucking firehouse. You better believe it. Fucking just hanging out, causing some havoc. I'm very excited about it. It's gonna be great. Goddamn great. Went out, had some sushi. I've been joining her for some sushi. The lady fucking branched out. So I'm gonna try some sushi. She is not a sushi fan. She's like, I don't want anything raw. What do we got that is cooked? And I'm like, all right.
So,
we can handle
before
that.
this, she hasn't even done cooked sushi.
No. She'll have like a shrimp tempura roll or something.
Okay.
You know, which is basically just like fried shrimp wrapped in sushi shit. But she wanted to try something a little different, so we're gonna try this thing. All right, great. So she ended up. I'm like anything that like has, fried like a fried roll. They'll deep fry and whatever. That should be fine. Well, she ended up getting fucking delicious. I forget the name of it. It was great. I know this because I ended up eating it because while yes, it was fried on the outside, the inside was still very much a couple different kinds of raw tuna fish, and she was not into it. She's like, it's all so slimy. I go, babe, it's fucking sushi. Of course it's slimy. It's got like the number one, like, yeah, that's right up there with like shit to expect from sushi. So
Yeah, I never get slimy from sushi.
No, I never do either.
What kind of sushi you feeding her?
I mean, like it's a lot of fish and rice. So of course it's gonna be slimy.
Well, I mean, it's wet. It's moist.
Yeah.
Like you just stuck it down
maybe
Aziz
that's a
Ansari's
better word for
date's
that,
throat.
wet,
Yeah, because slimy, that's more like if you get like the
Catch
the
of the
squid
day.
or the eel.
Yeah,
So I thought I was gonna say the week old sushi.
right. The catch of the day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right. It's definitely more
You didn't eat the puffer fish, did you?
than slimy for sure.
Oh, that
But
puffer.
she was not about that, but we had a good time. We came home and we spent like, I don't know, 30 fucking minutes trying to figure out what to watch in all of our various streaming platforms.
That'll happen.
Ended up selling on this fucking unforgettable movie with Katherine Heigl and Rosario Dawson. Boy, you want to talk about paint by goddamn numbers? Like, oh boy, no surprises. Like no
Hey,
one.
Lee, would you say it was forgettable?
Oh no, I'll never forget how fucking bad it was.
Ah,
Like
It
it was
did
not.
it.
It was not a good time. It was not a good time.
Aha!
When
But, you know.
this is a 2017 movie, huh?
Yeah.
oh, we're still doing Katherine Heigl in 2017.
Yeah,
I
I
think
was
it might have been the last thing she did.
I was assuming it was like from the era when she was doing those movies with Gerard Butler and shit.
I
That
swear
is-
to God, I keep seeing her on a fucking kitty
kart?
litter commercial.
Kitty litter commercial?
Yeah, like I see it every now and then during General Hospital.
Your cat's got poops? Come check out these scoops.
I do
Hey,
love
Cats
pregnant.
poop.
I love
And they poop a lot.
I love pregnant Katherine Heigl from Knocked Up. Like that's peak Katherine Heigl for me.
Yeah, no, I'd agree.
Is it knocked up her peak?
Yeah.
Like all
No,
just
that
all
and like
together?
fucking She's on the Grey's Anatomy because
Yeah, but didn't she get knocked up because she was big on Grey's Anatomy?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that was her most successful movie, but she got that because of Grey's Anatomy.
No, that's a fair point.
I don't know if it was her most successful movie because remember, she was in My Father the Hero with Gerard Depardieu.
Oh my god, that was her.
Yes.
And he fucking grew like old, weird looking. Like he's got like a dick for a nose.
He always kind of had that dick for a nose, though. That like
yeah, but now it's like a droopy old dick.
it's like the Ted
Well,
Kennedy.
he's a droopy old man. It matches his real dick.
Oof.
It's kind of that Ted Kennedy gin blossom nose.
You remember the Gin Blossom?
1994, My Father the Hero, starring Gerard Depardieu and Katherine Heigl.
And Gerard Depardieu's double dick.
I've actually seen that. It's kind of funny. It's not terrible.
Speaking of dick noses, did you guys ever see Nothing But Trouble?
No.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes.
It's Dan.
Oh, movie night, motherfuckers.
It's Dan Aykroyd, Chevy Chase, Demi Moore, John Candy, and Dan Aykroyd's this old, like 100-year-old judge in this rinky-dink town, and he puts people on trial and then puts them into weird like carnival game punishments and shit like that.
It's kind of like
it sounds great.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like
Yes.
people just keep getting stuck at this house.
It is very Texas
and
Chainsaw
they
Massacre,
disappear and nobody knows about it.
but it's supposed to be a comedy, and it's got Digital Underground in it, fucking Tupac's in it, and I recently watched a video. Yeah, it's
great.
It's like one of those.
A cameo is one of the unfortunates who got stuck there.
Yeah, it's one of those really good bad movies because it is not it is not a good movie by any means, but it is a train wreck.
It's movie night worthy though.
And Dan Aykroyd directs it, and he also plays one of the main characters, this old judge who's just kind of fallen apart. And they actually gave him a prosthetic nose that looks like a dickhead. And I didn't realize it until I watched this video recently that his actual nose was shaped like a dick.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. It's a great movie.
Speaking of Gerard Depardieu, let me see if I can find a picture of Dan Aykroyd's dick nose while we continue to discuss My Father the Hero. Oh my god! There's fucking side-by-side comparisons of Dan Aykroyd from Nothing But Trouble and Gerard Depardieu.
I was really hoping you were going to say his nose and a dick.
Oh my god.
Internet.
Hammered it.
Hammered at home.
So yeah, had a fucking rad time otherwise, man. Got the fucking kids back the other day and that was, fine. They're back. Whatever. It's great.
Wait, you had gotten rid of the kids?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's pretty perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. The kids were gone and all night long, overnight even. So they were gone all night, and so Nicole's like, we should put porn on the
night
TV
long.
because. And I'm like, you know what? We should put porn on the big TV because, and so we did. Like, no reason not to. Yeah, it's great. That's all I got, man. What's going on, guys?
Home.
What kind of porn you guys watching these days?
Whatever's around. It doesn't matter.
Are they still living?
Was it?
I believe they are, actually.
Was it physical media or digital? Were you streaming?
Oh, God, no. I'm not an animal.
Did you guys go rent a DVD? Oh, you should go.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Take
what
it back
really
to the old
arrives
school.
at home.
It'd be incredible. What you got going on, Nice?
Oh shit.
Never mind.
You want to go ahead, OJ?
I was just going to tell a funny story about a time I got propositioned in the aisle of a dirty DVD store.
Tell this
Please
story.
do.
I want to hear this.
Yes.
Well, I guess everyone feels comfortable in this store. This is the store in Orlando, no names. But if you get caught shoplifting, they take a picture of you with the item you stole and post it all around the store. So there's nothing but like Polaroids of like sad dudes caught stealing 6-inch dildos and
And butt plugs.
fists.
Yeah, and the
Butt
story's like,
plugs.
this guy tried to steal a 12-inch butt plug while his family was out of town.
Oh,
Yeah, they just roast them. It's great. So, I mean, they're looking at the new releases, seeing what is. what is and what isn't. And this guy comes up. He's like, "Hey, man," and he kind of like points over to his wife. He's like, "If you don't want to, it's cool. I understand. It's kind of weird, but my wife likes watching guys beat off. You want to come home with us?"
No.
And like all you gotta do is
thought
just
this
like
was going at all.
jerk off in front of her. It's like, "Yeah, I'm good." It's like, all right, cool. Thanks for being cool. And then he left me alone.
That was a real throw your hat over the fence moment, man. You could have had an adventure, but you were like, no, thank you.
Or I could have died. Because
I mean,
you know,
yeah, I
it was
guess.
also around the same area that Monster happened. So
I feel like
You know,
if
pick your
if the proposition was, I want you to come home with me and my wife and watch us bang, I think that would have been easier than my wife wants to watch you jerk off, because then like you're put in the position to perform.
well, yeah, but I don't want to go watch.
To perform and like, I mean, you
don't
have
wanna
to leave at some point, and that's got to be super awkward.
I don't want to just watch.
Yeah, if I'm there, like, let's do something.
Well,
You
you
guys
should
want to watch
have.
me? Cool, let's go.
You should have
Let's fucking
negotiated.
Check this out. Look at this sweet move.
Like, I will see and raise. what else are we talking about?
But, I guess I just I wasn't ready. So I gave him a punch card and I bounced.
and these days he's just begging for someone to ask to come home and jerk off.
You know, Louis C.K. is listening to this episode, and he's just like, "Come on!
God damn it!
It's
So, you know.
everything I've ever wanted."
Hey,
Struggle's real.
can you come home with me and my wife and then shove your fingers down her throat in a peace sign motion? She's really into that. Well, for me this week, big story, 11th Hour Radio has made its return.
Shit,
Aw,
yeah,
shit.
son.
Nice.
So that's cool. Getting some good responses from that. Appreciate it. And we're gonna keep on rolling with that. It's fun to do. Fun to get back in the saddle. You know. My wife, who is now I like to call her Moneybags because of her raise and promotion. She got a wild hair up her ass at the end of last week and said, "Hey, let's go to Disney this weekend and get annual passes." And I'm like, "All right, girl. Let's fucking do this thing. I'm in."
I like where your head's at.
So yeah, we went to Disney and got some annual passes. The silver passes, which have blackout dates during spring break, almost all of June, July, and half of August.
So meaning you can't go on them?
Right. And then for like the week and a half between Christmas and New Year's, because those are their busiest times. And this is a cheaper pass than getting, the full year pass. And you know what? I am down with that because...
Yeah, those are not times you want to go any fucking way.
I don't want to go to Disney World when it's fucking packed in the middle of July and it's 9 billion degrees. So thank you very much, but no. So that's cool. We're going to head out to... We hit up Magic Kingdom on Saturday. It was a little busy, so we hit a couple things and got the fuck out of there. And that's what's cool about having the annual pass, is that you can just go, take a temperature of the crowd, maybe see a couple things, and then get out of there if you want to.
Yeah, there's no pressure to stay all day long.
Right. And it's even better now because we don't live out on a dirt road in bumfuck nowhere, so it's a lot easier to get there and back. So we can pretty much go whenever we feel like it, just as long as there's no blackout dates. So I'm sure there will be Disney adventures to be had in future episodes. Finished Handmaid's Tale. As I'm watching it, it's 10 episodes the first season is. As I'm watching it, I'm trying to predict what's going to happen. And it's ramping up towards the end. And then I'm
10
like,
seasons?
10 episodes, first season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they recorded 10 seasons all at once. It was pretty nuts.
It's ramping,
ambitious,
like we're
one
going
might
hard.
say.
It's ramping up towards the end, and I'm trying to think about where they're going to go with it. And then I just realized, like they're not gonna bring down this whole society at the end of the first season. Like, they need to extend it for at least 5-6 seasons. So, yeah, it wasn't earth-shattering change at the end of this first season, but really good TV, man. Like Elizabeth Moss, who plays the lead character, she's real interesting. She's great. She's a great actress. She was on Mad Men previously.
Yeah, fantastic.
Okay, I recognize her. Yeah.
And she has the ability to either look super hot or look just fucking dragged. Just gross. You know, because she's just down in the dumps. She's getting beaten around. She's essentially a fuck puppet. But she can do the different aspects of the character so well, and super strong supporting cast. And you know, when we talked about it last week, Jose was giving me a preview of the episodes to come, and the whole behind the scenes of it is so fucked up and so gross, but I highly recommend it. And then
wait, what happened behind the scenes of that show?
No, it's behind the scenes
No, of the
society,
the idea of what.
Okay, I see.
Like when you start seeing the backroom meetings,
like Paul Ryan's pitch meeting.
Right. It's
Yeah.
all
Okay, I see.
it's all a scam so that these guys can fuck chicks that aren't their wives, essentially. You know,
I have. Oof.
In the end, yes, they're trying to keep society moving forward by, you know, creating another generation and keeping the human race alive. But really, like, these guys they're gross. A lot of them are very gross.
We gotta keep it alive. But what if also we had to fuck other chicks?
Yeah.
Hang on,
Like,
I'm listening.
Yeah, like Jose said last week, it's like, how are we gonna convince the wives to let this happen? And then the one guy's like, what if they're there? What if we lay the chick down in between her legs, and it's kind of like this symbiotic relationship?
Oh no!
And the other guys are like,
ceremony. We make it like this.
Yeah,
this beautiful thing.
We don't call it the act; we call it a ceremony, and we might just sucker our wives into letting it happen.
That's so fucking gross.
Yeah.
It is. It's really good though. Hannah from Dexter is in it, and she's great. She's fucking evil.
I haven't seen her in it yet.
Yeah,
I did see the chick from Orange though.
Yes,
I saw her in there.
Poussey is in it as the main
she's
character's
great.
best friend. Yeah. Hannah, the chick that she was from Chuck, is the wife of the main character's commander. So she figures in very highly in the entire series. So check it out. I highly recommend it.
Right on.
And then just on a whim, scrolling through all of our streaming services, turned on American Vandal on Netflix. You guys heard about this?
I know of it.
It is a Funny or Die series. It is a parody of like Serial and Making a Murderer and shit like that. It's a documentary series following this kid who is being accused of spray painting 27 dicks on 27 cars in the faculty parking lot of his high school.
Yeah, I saw a trailer for that.
And we burned through the entire first season in one sitting.
Holy shit.
Because not only is it funny, but like the acting and the direction and the story is really good to the point where you want to watch it episode after episode. Very much like Making a Murderer, where you would get to the end of an episode and they'd have some big reveal and you're like, oh shit, we gotta watch the next episode.
Also, it's just like A+ top-notch commitment to the bit, basically.
Yes, 100%. 100%. So highly recommend that. And then late last week, I was bored looking for something to watch, and last Tuesday, Mary bought me the Blu-ray for it, and it was the middle of the day, and it was light outside, and I figured it's time to watch it again, finally. And boy, oh boy, man, is that a good-ass movie. And then I watched, they've got a documentary about creating the Pennywise character for the movie, which is really good. And there's a lot of cool behind-the-scenes footage of them putting the character together and putting some of the scenes together, and you see a behind-the-scenes shot of the sewer drain scene with Georgie. And there's no CGI eyes, there's no CGI lighting. It just looks like daylight, and it reminds me of the old Tim Curry version. Like it looks real, and that's my favorite parts of the new It are when it's just him in the makeup. And it's real. Not to say that I dislike the CGI stuff, because some of the CGI stuff works really well. But I just would have liked to see more of just him as the dude. Deleted scenes, a documentary on the kids. Cool shit, man. Every time I load up my PlayStation, though, I got Pennywise staring back at me, though. So that's cool.
Yeah, those kids, man, are just infinitely fucking charming.
And I didn't talk about this when the movie first came out, and I tweeted about it this week, but in the scene where they all go to the quarry and go swimming, and they're all just in their tighty-whities, Ben Hanscomb has the weirdest nipples.
He's a fucking pudgy kid. Leave him alone.
Yeah, but, like, I was a pudgy kid, but his nipples are weird. His nipples are weird for anyone, no matter what size, because they got a little bit of a Jinder Mahal thing going with them, but also
he's got the jipples going.
But also,
he got some jipples?
His actual nipples are inverted.
Yeah, they are kind of strange.
So he's just got these like super puffy areolas and inverted nipples. They look
steroids,
like,
man.
They look like he's got almost like two buttholes on his chest.
Yeah,
on steroids, dog.
I can't stop looking at Ben Hanscomb's nipples in it. Is what I'm saying. There's the whole scene, you know, he explains that dairy has had all these fucked up things happen in its past, and he's explaining the history of dairy, all while he's just sitting there in his tighty-whities with his weird nipples. I can't take you serious, man.
It's fucked up.
That's it for me.
What's up, Jose?
I worked 67 hours. That's it.
that sounds lovely.
67 hours before overtime?
Just a lot. It was a lot, y'all. It was a fucking lot.
That's a lot, man.
But I will say that if we named the booth Tartar because it felt like it was moving that way. Like there was a point where we had to take the sign down so many times and it like connected in the middle, so it said one word, no names. But if you flipped it and put it wrong, it said Tartar. So we joked that's. He was like, I said, let's just put it up. Tartar. This booth is straight Tartar. Let's put it up. But we did not because we would have got fired.
See, I'm hearing lots of stories about you just not taking them chances, Jose.
Yeah, I know.
What about the road less traveled? Jerking it? Tartar? I mean, just think about it.
It's got bills to pay, man.
Oh, there's that.
Yeah.
Can't jerk it and pay all your bills.
No.
Jerking of a stranger is a young man's game.
Yeah. But, you know, loving it.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Got to swing by this guy's house earlier. That was cool. We're in the hunt. I'm in the middle of working a lot, and we got some shit going. We got some shit that might not be going. You know, we'll talk about that later when ain't no ears listening, because that one's not for everybody.
It's preview for you, just Lee and me.
Right. I like it. I like it.
Just us.
Good radio.
I'm digging. What about you, Kelly? What's happening in your world?
Nothing.
Just hanging out.
Looked through my Twitter and I was like, there's nothing really a note here.
You know
There's a Nintendo Direct on Thursday. You guys watch that?
What is that?
So some of the highlights.
Is that like a keynote?
I am fucking hyped for Mario Tennis on the Nintendo Switch. Y'all, I love Mario Tennis. That is my shit. And there's gonna be a story mode. Fuck yeah!
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there is. There's gonna be a story mode. You just go be Mario playing tennis across the world.
Oh shit!
Oh, it's gonna be awesome. Then they announced some DLC for Mario Odyssey. It sounds kind of dumb. I can see why people would like it, but I'm probably never gonna touch it.
What is it?
So what you do is you have 30 seconds to go through whatever area and hide a balloon, and then in the second part you have 30 seconds to go and find other people's balloons over the internet, and you can do some kind of leaderboard thing. It's pretty much for people.
You know the fuck that's about.
Yeah, it's pretty much like for people that are really good at moving fast in these games and like getting to weird places in just insane ways, like triple jumping and doing the leaps and shit. Like, this is for speedrunners more than anything.
Oh, so fucking weirdos.
Yeah. But you know, I did watch a video on YouTube that was like half an hour long about how a guy figured out that you can beat the entire game without ever jumping once. Like, that was pretty insane.
Fucking nerds.
Mary got Mario Kart this week, and we were talking about it before the show. But since Mario Kart Wii, my boy has been Waluigi, and I set him
the shit. Love Waluigi.
I set him up with this cart tonight when we were playing that looks like a purple rocket. So it straight up looks like I'm playing Mario Kart with Dick Dastardly.
Nice.
He's got the purple, he's got the mustache, he's got the big rocket cart. He just needs a Muttley.
Like, Waluigi's my dude in Mario Tennis, because he's got the reach. He's lanky. Got them long arms and long legs. Mario doesn't have that.
He's got that.
I don't know if I've played the Mario Kart with Waluigi.
Did you never play it on Wii?
I don't know.
Huh.
There's a belt for it?
No.
Not yet.
Exactly.
And then I also downloaded the demo for Dragon Quest Builders, because I do like Dragon Quest. And I was like, I'll give this a shot. And man, my brain does not work in the way you need to have for like Minecraft games.
It's like a Minecraft game, right?
Yeah. My brain just doesn't work out like that. Like, I don't have it in me to be able to build things out of just tiny squares. And like,
I watched my kid build some shit like she's like a master builder architect. It's insane. But
I don't get it. My noggin don't think that.
Congratulations,
that well.
Kelly. You're old now.
I know.
The ladies, niece and nephew play it, and my interpretation of it is box, square, hammer, dog, weird dick thing, box.
I mean, you're not wrong.
With a game that doesn't have a point, and I don't believe there's a point to that game.
No.
That drives me nuts.
There is a point. It's to build things. And I don't like building things. That's the game's job, to build things.
I want to show up when the things are built. I want to play on the things.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just not my kind of game. You can dress it up like Dragon Quest all you want. I'm not gonna like it.
This still sucks.
Yep. Oh, and then on Friday, I believe it was, we got details that Detective Pikachu is being brought to the West.
Man, I did not know how
happy.
much I wanted that until I saw that video. I'm like, holy shit.
I'm so happy, you guys. I really wanted this game to come over here, but it didn't seem like it was ever going to happen.
Is Detective Pikachu Inspector Gadget's partner?
See,
he could be, no. Detective Pikachu is the main man in the story, where you're just hanging out with like a fully sentient talking Pikachu.
He sounds like Danny DeVito.
Yeah, that solves crimes. It's amazing.
Yeah,
and there's going to be an amiibo for it, and I'm so hyped about that.
They're going to do a
so
movie.
Someone else.
Someone is just going to cover that fucking thing.
Just glaze it.
And it's like double the size of a normal amiibo, so they got like even more space.
You got to call a friend.
Yeah.
And they're doing
You
a
gotta find somebody at
detective
the video store and just ask them if they're cool.
Hey, my wife likes to watch dudes jerk off in Pikachu amiibos. You want to come over?
Boy, oh boy, I've been standing here in this video store for so long waiting for somebody to ask me this question. They're doing a Detective Pikachu live-action movie with Ryan Reynolds playing Detective Pikachu.
They are.
Why not?
I'll watch
Fuck
it.
it.
I'll be there opening day. Why not?
Rated R.
See, I heard about that before I knew that Detective Pikachu was a game.
Yeah, I think I'm the same boat. I didn't know it was a game either.
No, it came out in Japan. I want to say like a good year ago, which is why I kind of gave up on us getting it at this point. Because especially now that they're kind of cycling down in the 3DS, I figured why would they go out of their way to translate all this, which I assume is going to be a majority text game.
Yeah, makes sense.
Sheila in the chat is talking about the South Park Fractured But Whole.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just borrowed that.
Yeah, she says she digs it.
Loaned it to me.
I didn't get the joke until Mary said it the way
Yeah.
you wouldn't say it. She's like, the fractured butthole. And I was like, oh, I get it now.
Is that the game where the blacker you are, the harder it is?
Yes.
Yeah.
And she says, you battle Morgan Freeman, but he'll kick your ass.
That's awesome.
Oh, okay. I told Jose about this today. I completely forgot about something I wanted to talk about on the show. Ted 2 was on FXX the other night, and me and Mary watched it. We saw the original Ted. I enjoyed it. It was okay.
I like that movie.
Marky Mark's a piece of
okay.
Marky Mark's a piece of shit, but this is my first time seeing Ted 2. And two things that I took from this. One of the main villains is like a higher up executive at Hasbro, and they straight up plaster the Hasbro logo all over this movie as if they paid for that endorsement.
Yeah.
Like, if you're Hasbro, why would you associate yourself with Ted 2?
Have we talked about this?
I don't know. I've never seen it, so I don't know. I don't think. Have you seen it?
No.
Oh,
Yeah, I've seen it.
I feel like Lee might have told us about
okay.
this.
Maybe.
Well, it might have been a while ago. And then the second thing is, part of the finale involves New York Comic Con.
Comic-Con, right.
And I remember, way before Ted 2 came out, getting an email from someone about footage of New York Comic Con so that the Ted 2 people could take a look at, the layout and whatnot. So I was like, I'm interested to see how that eventually played out. So there's a scene where they're outside, headed towards the Javits Center. I'm like, oh, that's the fucking Javits. Like, I saw the railings. I'm like, oh, they're walking towards the Javits Center right now. Then they turn around, and there's the big LED screen, says New York Comic Con, tickets still available, a bunch of cosplayers standing outside. I'm like, that's funny, tickets still available. And then
Movie's bullshit.
And then they go inside, and it is completely not New York Comic Con.
It's like a caricature of what New York Comic Con is.
Well, that's how these movies are all done. Like this is how this shit works. Like, I think it might have been an episode of Grey's Anatomy because Nicole is just balls deep in Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, same here.
There's one episode. There's a stampede at a Comic Con over like some TARDISes
Before its time.
and but it's the same fucking TARDIS you can buy anywhere for like $40, and people are like, oh, there's like a $1,500 toy. Like, no, it's not, you dipshits. And just, it was every fucking bullshit caricature nerd that you've ever seen. I'm like, this is like, no one fucking talks this way. And no one has ever talked this way. And like, this came out long enough to like, surely somebody on that fucking show knows someone who does this shit.
So someone saw that and was like, hey, I got an idea for a TV show. Big Bang Theory.
That's as real as it fucking gets.
There is a cool bit in Ted 2 where they're at Comic-Con and, two of the characters are played by Patrick Warburton and Michael Dorn. They're like gay lovers, and they're at Comic-Con cosplaying as the Tick and Worf, which is fucking great. And something
I love this fucking place. This is wedgie and nerds.
And something that made me chuckle inside is like they never in the movie call it New York Comic-Con. Like you see the New York Comic-Con branding everywhere, but they just call it Comic-Con the entire time. And I know when we worked with New York Comic-Con that like that was a big sticking point. Like it needs to be New York Comic-Con, not just Comic-Con. Like we had a bit where, Hulk Hogan had a fucking huge crowd of people behind him. And he was like, "Yeah, I'm here in New York at Comic-Con," and we're showing it to somebody that we were working with, and they were like,
"No names.
No, you can't use that." And we're like,
well, they probably knew it's like San Diego's gonna sue us.
Well, it was more about they're trying to hammer their brand home, not so much. Yeah, at that time it was San Diego.
They're not worried about being sued because they have a working. Well, I ain't gonna say that. What I'm saying is that's not what they were worried about.
At least not at that time. They were wanting to make sure that their brand got hammered home.
Yeah, because that was only like the second or third year of the show, so like it was pretty early.
Well, no, the Hulk Hogan thing.
Yeah,
no, it was probably six, maybe 7 years in.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, because they just did their 10th anniversary in 2015. Was our last show?
Nuts, man! Wow. All right,
but when
time flies.
When the person was like, "No, you can't use that," in my mind, I'm like, "Oh no, we're fucking using it." So I edited the audio so that he said, because he says New York and he says Comic-Con, but just not in that order. So I just fucking cut out the part where he, there was the space in between. Yeah.
Nice.
New York Comic-Con. There you go. I'm not a fucking rookie. I'm not getting rid of this shot because he doesn't say New York Comic-Con. Must be crazy.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck yous. No, not on this watch.
Good times.
Fucking A right.
Toy Fair, 1 month.
Man,
I'm hyped.
God damn. It's going to be so...
We're going to roll so hard, so deep. We might put that whole con to sleep.
I said this earlier today, man. I'm a little intimidated by just how fucking big it is.
You should. It's so big.
Yeah.
Wait until it's all laid out in front of you.
Just unfurled.
Yeah, like I said, we're not going to be able to cover all of it. Like that's physically impossible with a 5-man team, and that's not what they're looking for either. We're just trying to find those moments, man. That good shit, the good. But
the good and the real. I got it.
Going back to 11th Hour Radio, I forgot to mention this. We recorded 2 episodes, our January episode and our February episode, and in both of those, we are promoting the fact that, man, we've done 105 episodes before this, so just go back to the archives and download those. Not realizing that TalkShoe's archives before November 2015 are gone.
What?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they are. I got in touch with support. They are working on getting those archives back. But, we stopped doing 11th Hour Radio in June of 2013, so none of our archives are currently downloadable. And they also stopped giving stats in November of last year. So TalkShoe is going TalkShoe is going through some shit. So, I didn't want to put it out there on 11th Hour social media or anything like that. But if you listen to 11th Hour Radio, you also listen to the podcast. Sorry, but those archives are not currently there. But I have like 22 episodes on my hard drive. And I'm sure between all the people that listen to 11th Hour Radio before now, we might be able to cobble together those 105 episodes between all of us. So we'll keep you informed of that. But also, it sucks because the podcast archives are gone pretty much too.
Oh, that hurts my heart.
But I feel like they'll be back. Hold out hope. They didn't say it's not going to be back, but they're working on it. They're working diligently, but they don't know when it's going to be back. But keep holding out hope. There's some good goddamn content.
So wait, is it just us, or is there like just a massive data loss?
Yeah, it's everybody.
Okay.
It's not just us.
I was like, hold the goddamn phone a minute. Damn, that's crazy. I can't even, man. It's fucked up.
And it's not like you can just go on iTunes and download them, because iTunes pulls from TalkShoe.
Yeah.
So that's part of the reason why we also put 11th Hour Radio up on SoundCloud. But SoundCloud might be going down too, so who knows?
Like
We should put out a call on Twitter to see if we've got people that have an archive of the past shows.
I think there very well could be.
I have a lot of them.
Right.
Like I have a lot.
Mahoney has a lot of them just in clip form.
Mahoney, reassemble all of the podcast episodes before 2015.
Yeah, I think I have every one that I ever mastered.
Yeah, see, and
several hundred.
On the other hand, I figure, they'll be on the internet forever, so I deleted everything that I had. Whoops.
What the fuck, bro? That's a foolhardy move.
Sorry.
All right.
Sorry, Lee.
It's all right.
But yeah, like someone's got to have each episode somewhere. So we can just slowly rebuild our archives. Or TalkShoe will be like, everything's fixed. There you go. Fucking sweet, bro.
Yeah. Which one of these this amazing free service I've never fully understood how it works and how it's free.
Yeah, it's not like they run ads.
Fucking bizarre.
But remember when TalkShoe was having all those problems in the past couple months?
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, that was all part of it.
Okay.
So
weird, man. Weird times. So, I don't believe got any of the mails. I know we don't have any voicemails.
yeah, I checked the voicemails.
Do you have the voicemail?
I checked, and there was nothing.
Thanks a lot, everybody. I don't mean it. It's fine. I get it. We're all busy, but you should call us. 616-951-1POP. Makes us all very happy. And yeah, email us, popcast@PanelsOnPages.com. I think I have any of those either.
I got a message on Twitter that Mahoney was very happy that now I can leave behind 2017 wrestling now that I've assembled my match of the year ballot and can move on to the 2018 wrestling.
It's very important.
It is. I assembled my match of the year ballot, got my top 10, actually got a top 25 because, I had to rank them all. But now I can dive into 2018.
I will say, I granted, I don't watch as much wrestling as you. I mean, who the fuck does? But I gotta say, I was a little surprised to not see that kill shot Dante Fox match, man. That shit was some of the wildest shit I've seen.
Yeah, that one just missed the cut. I think looking back, it wouldn't have made my top 10, but I think I should have put it in my top 25.
I was a little bummed there was no WrestleMania weekend matches on there.
That was stuff that I didn't have ways to rewatch, like most of it. And the ones that I did have the ability to rewatch, I wouldn't have put up there. The Keith Lee Ricochet match was in my initial list to rewatch, but I didn't feel like paying the $15 for the VOD. And then the Marty Scurll Ricochet match, same. I don't know how much the Rev Pro service is, but I didn't feel like getting it for one match.
Speaking of, our boy has signed with NXT.
Happy retirement, Ricochet.
Just let the man get a fucking WWE paycheck for.
Hey, I wanted to have I'm really happy about that paycheck.
Yeah.
And he's gonna kill it for a few months in NXT before he gets ruined on the main roster.
I'll say what Chuck Taylor said to him in PWG on Saturday night. Have fun on 205 Live, you piece of shit.
Who was that?
Chuck Taylor.
I love Chuck Taylor.
I highly recommend getting, if you ever get the High Spots Network, watch the Officer and a Gentleman interview series.
I watch those of the clips that they release on YouTube.
This most recent one, so it's Chuck Taylor and Dan Barry, and their guest was Joey Janela.
Yes.
And good God, that was a good time.
Also,
got to hear the story about Chuck beating up Larry Dallas in WrestleMania weekend a few years back.
And then High Spots also used to have the Trent Beretta.
Popping dogs and talking hogs.
Yeah, the Trent Beretta and Chuck Taylor show, the Best Friends show, where one of their main questions was, so, do you wipe sitting or standing?
Yep, they asked that to Janela, too.
And was it Best Friends or was it Officer and a Gentleman where they tweet pictures at The Rock?
That was Best Friends.
Okay, they at the end of every episode, they all take their shirts off, whoever the guest is, and they take a picture of themselves shirtless and tweet it at The Rock.
That's fucking hilarious.
I like this most recent episode where Chuck just goes, every now and then, like when they kind of lose track of the conversation, he'll just go to a notebook that he has that's got a bunch of questions written on it. So he looks at it, he's like, all right, cool. You believe in ghosts?
Yes.
And Joey's like, yeah, no, I think I do, yeah. And Chuck's like, all right, awesome. You believe in goats?
That same, they must have shot that during WrestleMania weekend, that Janela one, because it had the WrestleCon banner in the background. And there's the one part where Chuck Taylor says, so, Joey, what's it like working with Dink? And then Joey just goes, oh, Dink's a piece of shit.
Shows up to get paid and bite ass.
Yeah, what a piece of shit that guy is.
I still love that Gilbert was at that show but was too drunk to come out.
Oh, I didn't know that.
What? Before the show, Gilbert, Earl Hebner, and Dink went out, and Gilbert got fucking blasted, so he couldn't actually come out.
That's a disappointment, man. I love Gilbert.
No one loves Gilbert.
I love the Gilbert bit. I feel like it's a good bit. And I like whenever they get a chance to have him interact with actual Goldberg.
Oh, I guess he never did he?
They should induct Gilbert into the Hall of Fame this year.
I hope that Gilbert inducts Goldberg.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
What a funny gimmick that is.
And the funny thing is, that dude previously in WWF did a Ninja Turtle gimmick for like 2 days.
Oh my god.
What?
Go on YouTube at some point and look up WWF or WWE Toxic Turtles. And it's just two dudes in bootleg-ass Ninja Turtle costumes. And one of them is Gilbert.
That is super fucking bizarre.
And the first result is Dwayne Gill shoots on the WWF Toxic Turtles. Speaking of wrestling on YouTube, Poser Wrestling has finally released some episodes. They've got just 2 days.
I still need to watch episode 1. And I think 2 is out now, too.
Yeah, just 2 days ago, episode 1.2 came out. So check it out. I might be a little biased, but I feel like all the best parts are the Gavin parts.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Fucking love Gavin. Gavin's the best. Fucking hey, man. Let's take a break. Blink through this one, man.
Sure.
Good time. Take us a break. Come back. Do the news. Do the comics. Roll out. Go to bed like adults. Get a good night's sleep.
Man, I love going to bed.
Oh, man. It's the best.
Man, because I'm tired. I fucking shoveled a whole bunch of shit outside.
See, never. Fuck a whole bunch of that.
Hate snow. Hate it.
It is the mathematical worst. Except, I don't know. Tornadoes might have a beat.
Yeah.
And shoving your...
What makes it even worse is the fucking snowblower didn't work.
Oh.
So then I really had to shovel it.
Let's just blanket say fuck weather.
Yeah.
My grandfather stuck his hand into a malfunctioning snowblower once.
So that's why I try not to.
Was it malfunctioning before or after he put his hand in it?
It was malfunctioning before, but it was functioning when his hand was in it.
Woo!
Oof.
Yeah, it came out looking like a hamburger.
Oh no.
God damn.
So did he lose the hand?
No, but it wasn't in great shape.
Oh God, that's awful.
Now, did he go to the doctor for it, or was he one of those just wrap it up, it'll be fine?
Oh no, he was in the hospital for a week.
Okay. I don't want to say that's good, but that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, better than yeah. Better
there
than
are some
guys like, nah, just put a fucking Band-Aid on it.
Exactly. Yeah, there are those old men that'll be like, I survived worse. I walked uphill both ways to school and got frostbite on my entire body.
Yeah, that'd be like if that happened to me when I was a kid. My mom would be like, put some WD-40 on it.
Wait, was that a thing?
No, just one step above it.
Okay.
She was not a big fan of medicine, my mom.
I didn't know if that was like an old wives' tale. Like, just put some WD-40 on it, it'll be fine.
At least it'll stop it from squeaking.
Yeah, one squeak, it'll be quiet.
Shake it up, Mo Tussin.
Why not? All right, let's fucking take a break. We'll come back in a minute.
All right.
Enjoy this. Love you, kids. Bye.
Break!
Ripped Apparel is your one-stop shop for limited edition t-shirts featuring all the crap that you already like anyway. Every day you're going to see 3 new limited edition designs available only for 24 hours. That's just a single day. After that, they're gone forever. And best yet, if you want to check them out, buy a little something, they're going to throw a little kickback to us, your folks, your friends here at the Popcast. So go to PanelsOnPages.com, click that banner at the top of the page, or on the sidebar at pcn.panelsonpages.com, or you can just update your bookmark, check it out on your phone every single morning. That's what I do. Ripped, that's RIPT.panelsonpages.com. T-shirts start at just $10 and they'll kick us a little something every time. Help us keep the lights on, help us keep the podcast going, help us keep the side up, and get you a pretty cool t-shirt, man. Cool swag, cool shirts, good people, good deals from your favorite podcast. So check it out. Ripped.panelsonpages.com. 24-hour limited edition t-shirts that are pretty damn awesome. Check it out. And now back to your regularly scheduled podcast. All right.
I actually wrote news headlines this week.
Hey.
Mary says to me, she says, "So are you just not doing the rundown of the headlines anymore?" And I was like, it just, sometimes I just run out of time. Sometimes I have writer's block. Sometimes it felt like I was, writing the same jokes over and over again. And, maybe one of these days when I have time or I get the inspiration, I'll do them again. And she fucking guilt-tripped me into doing some goddamn headlines this week. No, she didn't really.
Let that create a fire, eh?
Moneybags telling you what you should do, I see.
I mean, that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
I know where my bread's buttered.
You do.
We were talking to Nicole and I were talking today about how just like, we've been together a long time, come a long way. Like shit's, definitely changed for us. I'm like, yeah, because one of us is really successful. Thank you for my life.
Hey, Lee, you and I, we do okay.
We do okay. That's right. We do okay.
We do okay.
That's right. Everyone should be so fortunate to marry up. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I highly recommend it.
Fucking A, right. So, yeah, also, we don't ask for a whole hell of a lot around these parts because, we're fucking beneath us and we love you people. But the bills are coming due soon, so if you guys want to go to Rip to buy a fucking shirt, that'd be great.
I bought 4 just before New Year's because they had their they had a clearance sale, so I got 4 for $11 a pop. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that's nice.
Because they're usually 11 or 13 day of, but then after the day of, they jack them up in price to almost 20. So, but got me some fine shirts. The other day, I wore my Scar from Lion King as Scarface t-shirt to Disney World.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Did Disney come by and just rip it off of you and say, "Where'd you get this?"
I was wearing a hoodie over it, so it was very incognito.
Who gave this to you?
I'm sure. Especially, he's got a pile of cocaine in front of him, so I don't know if they're too down with that. So how about some news?
They would be exceptionally down with that.
They know what's up. All them
up.
animators do cocaine.
Scar fucking loves cocaine.
You're like, what about the dick in the fucking Little Mermaid poster?
That's right.
Get off my balls.
That's right. It said,
don't act like this is new.
It said sex in the dust that Simba puts into the air in Lion King.
And Dave Chappelle's a clone.
That's right.
Know it.
All right, how about some news?
We'll do it
How
live.
about some news?
All right.
Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fuck it.
Look at
5, 4, 3.
This is the Pop Top 6-pack of news for January 16th, 2018.
Fuck fucking thing sucks!
The comic book direct market took a nosedive this past December, down 15% in sales from 2016 and 16% from November 2017. Retailers are scrambling to shift their business models to something more stable, like Bitcoin or beachfront real estate in Hawaii. Reports say Brian Michael Bendis will make his DC debut with the monumental Action Comics number 1000. And this past Sunday night, Bendis completed the script on his final issue of Spider-Man, featuring the character he created, Miles Morales. As part of his move from the House of Ideas, Marvel will hereby retain the rights to Morales, as well as Bendis' 2 adopted daughters. Returning to Marvel in the wake of Bendis' departure is Conan the Barbarian, a property most recently published by Dark Horse Comics. When asked, what is best in life, Marvel responded, crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of their women.
Also, take a look at my dick.
Marvel Studios has reportedly hired a female screenwriter to pen the long-awaited Black Widow solo film, probably because she has really nice handwriting.
Oh,
I
don't like that one.
The previously announced Dick Tracy reboot series at Archie Comics has hit kind of a snag, as license holder Tribune Content realized after the fact that they had a pre-existing deal already in place. Tribune Content must have the same attitude towards contracts as most people have towards comic books these days. They're just not interested in reading them.
Got him.
And finally, in a follow-up to a story we discussed last week, Stan Lee is once again being accused of sexual misconduct. This time, groping and masturbating in front of a masseuse during last year's C2E2. I wonder how much they'd charge for that photo op. And that is a Pop Top 6-pack of news for January 16th, 2018.
That's dark, son.
Wow. Infotainment.
Some guy hit him with the truth.
So we talked about what was it? It was Challenger Comics was talking about their 20-something% dive in sales from 1 year to the next.
Yeah, like a fucking lot.
So even after that, sales dove even further. Even though DC's got Metal and Doomsday Clock, shit is going bad. Let's see these numbers. Individual sales declined 16.13% in dollars and 14.5% in units versus November 2017. Graphic novels were down as well, 21.95% and 10.88%. And then compared to last year, the market declined 14.57% in dollars and a whopping 23.23% in unit sales compared to December 2016. That's not.
I would hazard that a lot of that is probably Marvel.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean that's kind of what you guys spelled out the other week when we were talking about how bad sales have gotten, and I would tend to believe you. I just don't know if any business can survive with a drop of 16% from 1 month to the next, even 1 year to the next, and especially December, one of the biggest retail months of the year. Like, you should be making that money, honey.
It really comes down to you have to diversify.
Sure.
For your bond.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's kind of like what we've been saying for a while, is that like you can't just sell back issues. It's not gonna fly.
No.
But it's even surprising to see that graphic novels were down in huge numbers.
That part is weird because that's always been a pretty steady, if not growing, market.
Yeah, that one's actually kind of surprising.
Now, have you guys seen that too, Kelly, or is that not so much?
Nothing that I'm aware of, and if it is, it's not like significant. Yeah, we might have seen a small drop, if anything, but not that I'm aware of.
Right on. Fucking A.
Because it's still like I was saying last week or whenever we were talking about that, manga is on the rise, and that's graphic novels.
Oh yeah, right.
Manga's on the rise.
Gonna be interesting to see how this shit shakes out in the next little bit. Kind of see where it all goes. But like, I mean, the future is not superhero comics, man. It's shit like we talked about before, man. It's the Scholastic. It's the manga. It's all those fucking great Scholastic books. Like that's that. Those are the ones keeping the medium alive.
Yeah,
or at least healthy, I should say. And maybe Marvel can turn it around. Maybe they'll actually do that thing they said they're gonna do, and not do a whole bunch of cash grabby bullshit event things. That'd be kind of nice. But is it too late?
It might be too late.
Yeah, like Marvel is one of the biggest names in entertainment, yet they're failing so badly at what brought them to the game.
Is that Disney's hope? They can just cut
like,
it loose.
Like they've already got the characters exist. They can mine those characters forever. Like,
yeah,
if they stop making comics tomorrow, Disney wouldn't give half a shit.
No,
that's what I'm saying. So like Disney took it over, but just let them fuck up.
They just wanted the characters. That's all they wanted.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Marvel's just research and development for them.
That's great.
That's what it is. That's the truth.
No, it is the truth. It's the fucking truth, man. You speak the truth.
And it's... I think they really need to work on their advertising game. Like, stop just advertising to people that read comics.
Yeah, and we've been saying that for 7 years.
Yeah, like, because that's just... The snake can only eat its own tail for so long.
$5, it won't matter.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
I remember going into the Thomas Jane Punisher movie and being handed a Punisher reprint comic book.
Yeah, it was Spider-Man 181, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What
that too? Yeah.
What?
And, they gave out a whole bunch of comics at I think at Walmart to coincide with the release of Spider-Man 3, if memory serves. I think that was a thing they did too. So it was there, just 10 plus years ago.
Speaking of Marvel and DC, Bendis has started to make his shift. It is reported that his first DC work will be in a story in Action Comics 1000. That's supposed to be like an anthology type deal, like a big ass book with a bunch of different stories in it.
Action 1000 should be a big ass book.
Your boy called it.
Yeah, you did. You said that Bendis was most likely going to be working on Superman or Action. Did you say Action Comics?
I said Action Comics 1000 specifically, and I was really bummed out to discover I never said it on Twitter, so I have no written proof of it.
Yeah, I mean, but we could find that episode and isolate the audio.
That's true. Turn that shit into a sounder.
That's right. And he has written his final Miles Morales story, which when you think about it, that is kind of a sad moment because Miles Morales is kind of his baby.
Yeah,
and he wrote the character as representation of his adopted daughters, right?
By and large, I think that's not an unreasonable thing to say.
Yeah.
So it'll be weird to see him not directly involved with that character, but
he's written like most of the words that character's ever said.
Sure.
Yeah. A wide majority of them.
Yeah. And he's not going to be affiliated with Marvel when, that Miles Morales Spider-Man movie comes out.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
He said something about like he knows who's taking over Defenders and Jessica Jones and the Miles book. Like, I mean, that Jessica Jones book doesn't have a fucking chance without him on it.
No.
My Defenders might.
I think they canceled Defenders.
Oh, well then fuck me. Fucking love that book. Like, legit one of my favorite Marvel titles. Well, hot damn. So,
Sorry,
Lee. His shit's going to be late, though, for a little bit, because, hey, he almost died, but luckily did not.
Yeah, it's
Crazy.
weird to go from he almost died again to I just finished my last Miles Morales script and I'm doing Action Comics 1000.
Right?
Hey, take a rest, buddy.
No rest for the guy.
Have some-
Hey, man, chasing that paper.
Have some orange juice or something.
Resting ain't so Bendis.
Bringing it back.
Hell no. Resting is decidedly unbendis.
Super Bendis.
Fucking great.
So, moving on, Marvel has reacquired the rights to do Conan the Barbarian comic books, which,
I mean, okay.
up until, very recently, if not still, Dark Horse had the rights and was doing Conan comics.
Marvel here to take everything you've ever loved, Dark Horse.
Yeah.
Well, and Marvel had Conan comics back in the day, back in like 70s,
Oh,
80s,
yeah,
was
for
it?
sure. For sure.
Yeah.
And this is a weird situation because, you know, when we talked about the Fox Disney deal, we talked about how all of those Fox IP comics are at Dark Horse, and some of them are at IDW, or mostly like X-Files and Alien and Predator and shit are at Dark Horse. Buffy.
But like, to this day,
IDW just has X-Files, and that's it.
Okay.
But they're also
Everything
making,
else is pretty much at Dark Horse.
What else are IDW doing? Something else. You might be right. You might be right.
And there was the notion that Disney is going to pull those comics from those companies and bring them over to Marvel. And my theory is, why would they even care? Why not just take the licensing check that they send every year or so, let them keep making their fucking dinky-ass Aliens and Predator and Buffy the Vampire Slayer and X-Files comics and not fuck with them. But then here comes Marvel getting the rights back to Conan, so...
It's a weird thing because IDW is also making Star Wars comics.
Yeah,
right.
It's an odd thing. I don't get that one.
Right, IDW's making Star Wars comics. Don't they also make some Disney comics?
Yeah.
Or was it
Boom?
Boom?
Uncle Screw, all that shit, yeah.
Was Boom making Disney? Or that was back in the day they were making Disney comics. Boom was.
Yeah, I don't think they've had those licenses for a while.
So-
Yeah, it's a weirdly tangled web.
And what is so appealing about bringing Conan back? And is it a matter of the rights were up at Dark Horse and maybe Marvel wasn't going for the rights, but the rights holder was shopping it around, seeing what kind of deal they could get? And I'm assuming maybe the deal was just good enough to where Marvel was like, fuck it. I mean, it's kind of a steal.
Yeah, that's one that I wouldn't have made that deal.
Who's going to read Conan the Barbarian comics besides Juan?
Old white men. I can tell you by who buys them now. Old white men.
Juan?
No, that sounds about right.
Juan?
All the same dudes that read Red Sonja. All the same dudes that read fucking Jungle Adventure shit.
Whenever they make a John Carter comic.
So
Yeah.
maybe it's a matter of they're trying to dust off their old Conan archives and maybe reprint those, resell those, try and squeeze some money out of those. But
That's
then
the only thing that I could think of that makes any kind of sense, but even so, like, I don't think it's worth it.
it is really weird.
The one interesting thing too is that there's two images. One is just a pretty badass like Conan looking cover with I think it's Asad Ribic, and then
Yes.
one is an image of Conan with Thor and Wolverine.
Holy shit, I didn't see that. Yeah, it's Conan the Barbarian with Thor and Wolverine behind him. Art by
What's up, bros?
Mark
Mike
Diodato.
So, I mean, like, I can't imagine a world wherein like they do that comic. Like that almost has to be just like a promo fucking piece of artwork.
Yeah,
right?
like a welcome back type thing.
Yeah,
Holy
surely.
fucking shit.
But what if?
Now Wolverine, not so much.
Thor,
However,
yeah.
a story set in the past where fucking Thor goes and hangs out with Crom and fucks with Cronan would be kind of amazing.
And they just tag team a harem.
That'd be amazing. So, I was against it, and I talked myself into it. I kind of want to see it.
Speaking of Marvel, apparently there's a Black Widow film finally, reportedly, in development.
About goddamn time.
They have hired a screenwriter, and they've been like we're getting towards the end of Phase 3, right? Infinity War, the 2 Infinity movies will be the end of Phase 3, if I'm
something like that. Yeah,
if I remember correctly, and they've been very tight-lipped on anything past that. Because it's supposed to be a game changer. These Infinity War movies, it's going to change the landscape of the Marvel Cinematic Universe from here on out,
as we know it.
But I think announcing that they're developing a Black Widow film, that doesn't necessarily tip you off to anything that is happening in Infinity War.
I mean, you can assume that she lives, and that's about it.
Or,
well, I would even assume that could just be back in time.
Yeah, it could be a prequel, or it could be a different Black Widow.
Skrulls.
Could you imagine if they did a Black Widow solo movie and didn't have Scarlett Johansson in it? Oh, that'd be so fucked up.
But wasn't like I feel like didn't this come hot off the heels of like some fucking action movie that like got greenlit and looks awesome, and the people like, hey, you this is basically the plot of.
It's that Jennifer Lawrence movie. What's it called?
Red
Isn't
Sparrow
it like red something?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I remember it sounded kind of like Black Widow, so I was like, oh, all right.
Yeah, everybody's like, Jennifer Lawrence can make a Black Widow movie. Why can't you, Marvel? And Marvel's like, you're kind of right.
Fucking God, they got us on this one.
Hey,
shit.
Can someone kind us a screenwriter with a vagina? Quick, post haste. Why did you not like my headline so much, Lee?
The pretty handwriting thing I didn't like.
Well, I mean, it's less. The joke was less about she gets it because she has nice handwriting, and more so that women have nice handwriting.
No, solid joke.
I did not think that was going to be the one headline that you were going to be like, oh.
Yes, follow you on that one.
Red Sparrow. Red Sparrow is the Jennifer Lawrence movie. And this is as far as we've gotten with a Black Widow movie, so
yeah,
we'll see what's happening.
And boy, does that just seem like a fucking no-brainer. Like, I can't believe it took this long.
They really should have transitioned straight from Winter Soldier into a Black Widow movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, she was great in that movie. They talked. Maybe it wasn't until Winter Soldier that they talked about, not Winter Soldier, Age of Ultron. They talked about her backstory, but like, there's meat on that bone. Basically, really, there is. Like, there's no reason not to make a big thing out of it. Like, it should be,
and a great rebound because I wasn't on board like the first time you saw her, but
Iron Man 2.
Yeah, like but they
definitely
upped her character.
You can make a duck speak Russian.
Exactly.
Classic Jose. Find that on the Talk Shoe archives.
Yeah. Good luck. Let us know if you find it. Seriously.
Classic. Next up, Archie Comics announced in December that they were doing a rebooted Dick Tracy series, which sounds perfect for Archie Comics. That sounds like right in their fucking wheelhouse for what they've been putting together lately. Tribune Content Agency, the license holders the license holders of Chester Gould's Dick Tracy, confirmed via Twitter on Tuesday that, we did not realize when we made this deal that we already had a deal in place with somebody else to make Dick Tracy comic books. Sorry.
That's kind of hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
Like, what the fuck?
What are you guys doing?
Like, and what is this company called? Who is this?
This is Tribune Content Agency. So
I feel like this might be one of those, like a legitimate you had one job moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Because who the fuck are these people if not the guys that had Dick Tracy comics? So, like, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, for the longest time, Warren Beatty had the fucking rights to him.
Yes.
Wait, for real?
There is a
Dick Tracy himself?
There is a story at the bottom of this article that says this isn't the first time something like this had happened, because word surfaced in 2010 that Bendis and Michael Avon Oming were offered a Dick Tracy comic, but it was stopped by Warren Beatty.
That's right, yeah.
That's crazy.
So, does Warren Beatty still have the rights and he's just fucking shit up for Dick Tracy comics?
He said, no. I want to be in Marvel movie. someone do this. Okay? Or ain't nobody making this shit.
My initial knee-jerk reaction was, you guys remember Shocker Toys?
Oh, I remember Shocker Toys.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Shocker Toys they had their indie spotlight line, and Shocker Toys was infamous for their just awful PR and customer service.
They were the ones, Kelly, that you may have seen at some cons. They had like the Scud, the disposable assassin figure, and like a Max
tick
figure.
Yeah. They used to
John,
troll people on the Wizard boards. Like the Shocker Toys reps used to fight with people on the old Wizard message boards.
Yeah, because their MO was like, was it Kickstarter or like basically like a Kickstarter type thing? Might have been pre-Kickstarter.
It was pre-Kickstarter, but it definitely sounds familiar. But it was like pre-orders. Like, here are the...
Yeah, not even a Kickstarter, but just pre-ordering.
Here are the concepts. Okay. We want to do this action figure line. Why don't you pre-order? A bunch of people pre-ordered, and like 1% of people ever got the product. And it was garbage.
And then they wouldn't refund either.
Right. And they did those awful, like, rubber vinyl Death Clock action figures that were terrible. They looked like squeaky dog toys. So they did a Dick Tracy, or at least they were supposed to do a Dick Tracy at some point. So when I saw this story, I was like, maybe fucking Shocker Toys weaseled their way into getting the rights to Dick Tracy, like, in perpetuity.
The license for fucking... That'd be incredible.
Yeah, Shocker Toys has changed their name like 3 or 4 times to avoid bad press and get away from their debts and stuff like that. I don't think they've ever produced a toy.
No, I know they have definitely made some Scud figures.
Like 4 of them.
Like I feel like I've seen one of those. I don't know, hard to say.
I remember doing a article for PoP that was licenses that need to be taken away from their current licensee.
And you were like, all the Shocker Toys.
Yes, and one of them was Metalocalypse Death Clock being taken away from Shocker Toys. And a Shocker Toys rep came into that article and was just straight talking mess. They did not take criticism at all. Like, you thought Nye's 2010 was bad?
The simple truth is that you didn't say a single word that was out of line.
Right, exactly.
Fuck those guys.
And this whole thing's a bummer because a Dick Tracy reboot at Archie could have been something special.
Yeah, I would have no bullshit have been into that.
Oh, yeah, it would have been really cool.
I love the Warren Beatty Dick Tracy movie. We went and saw that for my birthday one year. Like, the whole birthday party went and saw Dick Tracy. I had all the action figures. It was a good summer.
I don't know that I've ever seen it beyond just the one time.
Oh, it's so good.
It is. It's pretty good.
Like, Dick Tracy was one, and then like Rocketeer was another one that I don't think I ever saw.
Oh, those two movies, like that's a back-to-back movie night if you ever.
Yeah,
that's
I'm not against that idea.
Those might be two of my favorite 90s summer action movies of all time. God damn it.
God damn
Madonna.
Yeah.
Vogue era Madonna was in Dick Tracy.
Like prime era Madonna.
And our final story, Stan Lee, man, catching another charge.
I feel like
He said,
I
fuck
don't
it.
want to make light. I really don't want to make light.
Right.
But like, this headline can may as well have been 95-year-old man plays grab ass.
Slap ass.
It's like he's 95. Like, you know, I don't know why I think it'd be different if, like, you know, there's just a steady stream of like women for the past like 70 years. No, this motherfucker has always been a creep, but like it was all contained in the past couple of years. I don't really give a shit.
Like, I would believe these stories more. Not to say these stories are unbelievable, but I would believe them more if they were from like 10 years ago or 5 years ago. But
yeah, it's like
you're talking 2017. Stan Lee is trying to fuck his masseuse.
Like, I mean, like, he's the least threatening person alive.
Who's
because
easier
if you
to
blow
punch?
on his forehead,
Yeah.
he will topple to the ground.
Who's easier to punch in the nose, Stan Lee or Aziz Ansari?
Oh, well. I think Aziz Ansari definitely has the more punchable nose. That guy's whole fucking gimmick is just punchability, I feel like.
We did see him jump off stage, though, so maybe that whole feeble man's just an
But that
act.
was also 2010 we saw him jump off stage. I'm saying, you know, we saw him at AwesomeCon this past year in June, and he was still with it. He was still very frail. Like, it was touch and go each day of the show whether or not he'd make it because he was
He's
sick.
definitely sharp. He's sharp. He's mentally all fucking there.
He would get sick and he wouldn't be able to, you know, do his shit for that day of the show. But then I saw a video from the Ace Comic-Con from Arizona this past weekend. He did a panel with Todd McFarlane, and he has deteriorated fast. He is not a good old happy-go-lucky, full of energy Uncle Stan anymore. He is turned into low energy, grandpa can barely put a sentence together Stan Lee these days.
So let me jerk off.
Would you watch him jerk off?
Now,
'Cause I would.
did we discuss this?
I mean, if you asked me to.
I would.
Did we
Because
discuss
I
this
just
last
want
week?
to see if it can happen.
Right, like, is it jerking off, or is he just swatting at it, trying to jumpstart it? He's just batting it around,
Just
like
playing with a gummy worm.
Fucking hell.
Uh,
I don't know. Like, I mean, like, it's never fucking
he's just
okay.
flicking it. Excelsior! Excelsior! Excelsior!
Like, he's a wizard at Hogwarts.
'Cause I don't remember where I'm at.
But yeah, this story is from 2017 C2E2. So that was April, maybe March of last year. And he says that a masseuse, or the allegation is by Chicago masseuse that says he masturbated in front of her in his hotel room after he groped her and demanded sex. And between this and Ted 2, and I saw an article about Logan Paul where he was in front of a New York Comic-Con step and repeat. Reed Pops is just getting all kinds of great publicity these days. What, like, you come into work, you work for C2E2, and you look at this story that Stan Lee's getting accused of trying to jerk off at a masseuse.
Google news alert goes off.
Yeah.
Oh, what
It's like,
are they saying about the show?
oh no. Oh no! Why couldn't it have been Wizard World?
Because everyone there just expects it, so no one reports it.
Oh, that's fucked up.
You go to a wizard show, you're just like, somebody's gonna jerk off at me today.
But he fucking showed up at Ace Comic-Con this past weekend and did his photo ops. Chris Evans dropped out one of the days because he had the flu.
Oh. Fucking hey, man. Let him do his thing. Like, you know.
I don't know about let him do his thing.
Not that thing. No. Not that thing. But I'm just saying, like, don't expect, like, I'm just saying, don't fucking go calling for, you know, the understand Lee's career when he has 27 minutes left of it. Just it's all right.
I feel like 2018 is the end. Unfortunately,
is he supposed to be at?
Don't show your
Awesome
dick to
Con?
people that don't want to see it. Come on.
What'd you say, Jose?
Is he supposed to be at Awesome Con?
Not currently.
Please keep it that way. Because you know what I mean.
You don't want to.
I
Are
don't
you
want to
sure
be
you
there
don't
for
want to
that.
go over and ask him for like a drop and just be like, jerk it in front of me, Stanley, and then he just pulls down his pants and just goes to town.
I feel like with these two stories, and with how he was looking and sounding at Ace Comic-Con this past weekend, you'd be a real greedy fucking monster to bring him to one of your shows. I take it back if any of the shows.
Why the hell he's still doing it?
I take it back if any of the shows that we work for brings him to the show.
Obviously.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't get why he does it. Like, he's got to be filthy, fucking dirty, dank ass rich.
If he stops, he will die.
Right.
Yeah, he just gets the high from it at this point.
There's that, but there's also like it's got to be a pretty fucking penny.
Oh yeah, but like he's got to have so much.
Yeah, but he's also got an empire. He's got an entourage. He's got family. He's got interests.
He's got to pay people off after he touches himself in front of them.
That's right.
Damn.
Yeah,
His interests may have interest.
He's just trying to fill up the coffers.
Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, just it's gonna be a bummer when he goes. But hey, we all gotta fucking punch our clock at some point. Insane. Play my comic books. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh yeah, Bill Burr.
The problem with comic books is the ink comes off on your hands. Every time you turn the page, you have to wash your hands.
So yeah, Old Man Hawkeye came out. The prequel to Old Man Logan. I got it mostly because I was thinking the other day about what the fuck's name? Marco Cicchetto, whatever. I was thinking about that guy, like, what's he been doing lately? And then he's doing this. Like, oh, I'll check that out.
Good job, bro.
Yeah. Fucking done the thing. And so this is like, you know, kind of before the events of Old Man Logan. Hawkeye has not gone blind yet. But he's trying to, I don't know, he's running something across the country and blah, blah, whatever the fuck. The big takeaway from this issue, though, is he fights the Madrox gang, which is a fucking gang of outlaws that are all Jamie Madrox, which is kind of awesome. Well, that was kind of clever. I don't necessarily know I'll go back for more because, like, I mean, we all know how it ends. He blind at the end. Like, he blind. It's fine. Whatever. Who gives a shit? I did really enjoy Venom 160. This whole Venom Inc. storyline has been a lot of fucking fun.
Yeah, it has.
Glad to see Flash Thompson back doing a superhero thing as the new anti-Venom. That's kind of great. Maybe I'll finish that custom figure I started like 3 years ago. I'll get that guy done now. All the artwork has been great because it's going back and forth between Sandoval here, Gerardo Sandoval, and then Ryan Stegman on the Spider-Man portion. So, like, that's a pretty fucking rock solid 1-2 for sure. And I was just glad to see the Mania chick back because I liked her a lot from the Flash Thompson run of the book. It was great.
Yeah, I'd kind of thought they'd just forgotten about her.
Yeah, but she's still in Philadelphia. She's still got the fucking the hell symbol from when they were running around with Hellstorm for a while. That's kind of great. Love that. Why the hell not?
You know, just speaking of like forgotten Marvel characters, I was listening to a podcast and they brought up a great point. You know who should probably fit into the current Marvel universe perfectly, and yet they do nothing with her? Aranya.
Oh yeah.
Like, she's perfect for the kind of initiative they've been going for in the past, like, 2-3 years. Like, why not bring that character back?
Was she like a female spider character?
Yeah, she's like the last Spider-Girl.
Oh.
Yeah, she was in the Web Warriors book, right?
Was she?
Hell, she might not have been.
I
don't
love
think she was.
Kelly.
Mayday was.
I loved Kelly's slinger tweets today in reference to Ricochet signing with NXT. It's like, what are they going to change his name to? Prodigy? What are the other?
Maybe Dusk, definitely not Hornet.
Yeah, all right. Aranya was definitely in Web Warriors.
Okay, she was.
That's the last time we saw her, though, and that was a long time ago.
Yeah, she'd be perfect for the current Marvel landscape.
Web Warriors is really good. I miss that book. Mom. Oh, I'm flipping through this shit. That makes me sad. Great stuff. What else? Okay. Got to talk about. We're going to just jump all over Mr. Miracle's dick again.
Oh, you want to talk about what may be one of the best single issues I've ever read?
Jesus Christ. Go ahead, Kelly. This motherfucker.
This book continues just to be a masterclass in storytelling. So the book, in the last issue, we saw Mr. Miracle was going to go offer himself up for execution, but now he's going to go fight. And so the issue is just him and Barda fighting their way through the New Gods place, New Genesis, and them just talking about remodeling their home for the entire issue. And it's just all on the 9-panel grid, and it's just them going across like a comic strip. And that's it. And it's brilliant. It's so good.
The most boring conversation doing the most extreme shit a person can do. So good. So good. Like, it goes back and like the bit where they're fighting the two guards, like you can kind of, if you watch the background, you kind of can determine the path they're taking around the room while they're fighting.
Yeah.
It's so good. So good. God damn, it's so good. And I that was it. When I finished that issue, I'm like, oh shit. You know what? I need to get my hands on some Mr. Miracle and Big Barda figures. And then I went to eBay and I'm like, oh fuck, they're really expensive.
Oh really?
Never mind. Yeah, there's this old DC Direct 2-pack, but that's when those DC Direct figures look really shitty. So like, I don't want that one. But like all the kind of more modern era ones are like really, really expensive. And then they fucking, we're 6 issues in, they finally show us Darkseid, and he's terrifying.
Oh yeah.
Like whenever he shows up, like the panels look like a VCR with shitty tracking.
Yes, I love that effect.
Like, the artwork's bleeding between panels. Like, it looks like it needs tracking on a VHS, which is a thing that is kind of a bold move because there's no frame of reference for it anymore, which is kind of awesome. Yeah, it's brilliant. That shit is genius. So, Jose, once you finish that vision, get on that Mr. Miracle for sure because it's damn good. Talk about Avengers 675. This is the thing where they are taking all the Avenger titles for the next however the fuck long, and they're making them all just Avengers. Like, there's not going to be any Mighty Avengers or whatever the fuck they're doing now. They're all going to be, it's all one book, bring all the team together. So they're basically doing a crossover. They're just doing it in one book. So what the fuck ever. It looks as if the gimmick to this is, I think it's a payoff to like this Avenger X business that they showed like way early on in Wade's run. And it appears to be a character that no one remembers, but has been around forever. Kind of like, I don't know, the Sentry. Like, it's very Sentry-esque. So, jury's out on how I feel about it. But, I mean, it's definitely big. It's definitely big. and it feels like an Avengers story, which is kind of great. Like, it's about a bunch of superheroes getting together, saving people. Like, no one's a secret Nazi as far as I can tell, so I really like that. so there could be hope for this one. And then last thing I'll talk about
Next
is...
thing you know, the new character shows up, just looks at Falcon, and they're like, not you.
Yeah, you, none of the dark ones. Like, did she just... What's... Oh, goddamn. Again. Yeah. And the last thing I'll talk about is Witchblade number 2 that they launched back Top Cow and Dark Horse. Written by Caitlin Kittredge with art by Roberta Ingranata. And I do not know her, but I know Caitlin Kittredge from Coffin Hill, a Vertigo book. Came out a couple years ago. That was really solid. They're doing a very, very different thing with Witchblade. Like, it's all new characters. Like, there's not a single person that crosses over from the previous incarnation whatsoever. It's I mean, the mystical shit still has to be there for sure, but it's more like it's a horror comic. It's a horror comic with magic leanings, and they're being very, very slow to kind of introduce the world, which is pretty cool. I kind of like it. Like, I'm a big Witchblade guy, always have been, so I'm glad to see him back. No matter how I see it, it's pretty cool. I'm gonna see how far this thing gets. It's kind of neat. Yeah. That's all I got. What you got, Kelly?
All right. Pretty much the thing that I really wanted to hit was Mr. Miracle this week, but I did pick up volume 1 of Mech Cadet U from Boom.
Okay.
And that book's fucking great. Like, you would love it, Lee.
I haven't heard of that book.
It's by Greg Pak and an artist whose name I can't remember at right now.
I enjoy the work of Greg Pak quite a lot.
That guy, didn't we?
It's
Greg Pak, yes. Yeah, we got Greg Pak.
But it's basically, so the world, it's kind of like it's like adorable Pacific Rim.
Oh, okay.
It's like if you take Iron Giant and fuse it with Pacific Rim.
All right, okay.
So what happens is there's these alien monsters or something that are kind of attacking, but they're not really a huge threat at the moment. But every year there's there's 4 robots that like come from space, or 3 robots, sorry, that come from space and are just like, hey, why don't we hang out? And they go to, like, they find some kids and they get them to pilot them and help defend the world against monsters.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, it's great. And like the main character, he's the last person you would expect to get a robot. He's not one of the cadets. He's the janitor's son. And then, you know, he happens upon himself a robot. And
that's
it's
cool.
just all very sweet. Yeah, I highly recommend it. You would love it.
I'll check it out. Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Hell yeah, why not? It's made the list, but not until I'm not gonna do that until I read that fucking Tomy collection, because I'm all about that.
Oh man, I'm glad I've converted you.
Yeah, I read a couple more stories out of the Shiver collection that I talked about last week, and was just delighted when one of them ended without literally everyone being killed. Like, oh, just the guy's girlfriend dies in this one. He's gonna be okay. I mean, he's gonna need some therapy, but he's gonna be okay. And one of the stories in it is called The Painter, and it's apparently the first in a long series of stories about a character called Tomy. It's like, fuck. So I looked it up, and they have a nice hardcover collection of that and like 9 films. So I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna fall down a Tomy hole.
Yeah, Viz is doing the Lord's work with bringing over these nice hardcovers of Junji Ito books. Like, he's one of the few artists / writers in the comic world that I'll just say, just buy it all. Just buy everything. There's not a loser among them. They're all great. And even if, like, narratively they're not the strongest, they're just gorgeous and unsettling in the best ways.
They're unsettling and just... they're all just weird. And
yes.
Like, there's no context for the terrible shit that's happening, which I kind of love. Like, it just kind of happens.
Yeah. And it's all just so matter of fact. It's never, you never feel like, oh, look at this weird thing. It's just, no, there's just some weird shit happening. Like, all right, time to go to this dude's house. Oh, all of his family has decided that they're going to have their limbs tied to the ceiling and have puppeteers lead them around the house all day.
Yeah, and that's never gonna not be creepy.
No. Did you read the story with the balloons?
Oh, yeah, I read the balloon story.
I love the balloon story.
So the fucking balloon story, real quick. So this girl wakes up and her best friend is found dead. Apparently hanged herself outside of her apartment. She's like a local celebrity, so the kind of the neighborhood kind of mourns, whatever. And then people start talking about seeing her ghost in the area. It's like urban legend kind of thing. And so the dead girl's boyfriend calls her up. It's like, hey, I've got the ghost. You got to come see the ghost. She goes out and sure as shit, there's the ghost, big ass fucking floating head of her dead friend. And as the boyfriend is like pleading, hey, you know, what does this mean? Why are you here? A fucking noose drops out of the tree, snatches him up, and he's now attached via a noose to a giant version of his head. And so giant heads of all the people in this city start just flying around, just looking for the person that matches their face for the sole reason of snatching them up and hanging them until they die. I'm like, where they come from? I don't know. Why they there? I don't know. But it's fucking dark. Super dark. Like, her and her friend fight back and, like, you know, they pop the friend's, like, giant head, and so then her actual head, like, just deflates and gets all fucked up and mashed. It's crazy.
It's one of those things that you're just like, oh, so there's no winning. All right.
Yeah, there's no way. No way anyone's getting out, and then they all die.
Yeah. So they you either have this thing come and hang you, or you pop it and your head pops, or you just stay inside for the rest of your life and never go out.
And eventually starve to death. Like, no one wins. Like, fucking no one wins. It's so messed up. So messed up. That's great, though. Yeah,
I love
thanks
that, man.
Thanks for the conversion.
Oh, you're welcome.
I'm telling Nicole, like, it's the first. I know it's not new because they're old. Hell, some of the stories I think were written in the 80s, so they're not new stories. But, like, you know, it's new to me. It's like the first, like, new thing to me that I've read in a while that got me really excited about, like, comics and shit again because it's so radically different. It's very cool.
Yeah, that's what got me into manga again. It's just how different it is from the main, like, just American comic scene.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've been like, oh yeah, this is a fresh thing. I'm way into it. I'm super fucking into it.
What all these guilos are doing.
Yeah, pretty much.
At some point, pick up his cat diary, which is basically about him becoming a crazy cat owner. And
all right.
give that one to Nicole. I think she would like it.
All right. She'll be like, is this the guy with the fucking head story? Because I told her about the head story. I'm like, yes, it is, but I don't think this is a head story.
It's just like, yeah, it's just like a kind of autobiographical piece about just him and his cats.
That's funny.
And it still manages to be creepy and unsettling.
I like it. Oh, check that out. So, yeah, what you got going on, Nice? Anything we're talking about?
Yes. I discovered this today. I forget who retweeted it into my feed. Oh, I think it was my cousin's wife. But at Mugshawities on Twitter. MUGSHAWTYS. Mugshawities.
Is this going to be your new Subway fights?
It's just a Twitter account of attractive women's mugshots and what they got arrested for.
Oh, God.
One of my favorite ones that I found today, and it's a relatively new account, too. But one of the ones I found today was this exotic-looking chick with some real interesting, like, curly, two-toned hair. And she was arrested for, oh, here she is right here. Possession of methamphetamine, possession of a controlled substance, and disorderly conduct, and in parentheses, twerking, urinating, and exposing genitals in front of the town's city hall while a friend filmed.
Hammered it.
I'll drop her in the podcast chat right now so you can check out this mugshouty.
I also love. I'm looking now.
I'm looking too.
The range of like everything from like this one bitch is doing just straight up duck lips. Some of them are looking real sad. Some of them looking just glam as fuck. Like I have no idea what's going on.
She said, "Yeah, I did it."
This one chick attempting to seduce a minor.
This one chick just says contempt, and her face says contempt.
Yeah. I was about to say sup contempt.
A lot of them, their face says contempt.
Criminal driving. You know, sometimes you're reminded there's still some light on the internet after all.
There was one. I'm seeing if okay here
Public
it is.
intoxication, no shit.
This chick looks like Kristen Bell, so it's pretty much Eleanor from the Good Place, but it's criminal mischief, and in parentheses attempted to inscribe the word whore into a car, but misspelled it as WORE.
Oh no! Oh. Jesus. Well, thanks for that.
Yep.
Yeah.
It just keeps on going.
It does.
It just keeps on going.
It stops after a while because they started in December.
Holy shit! That's just like not even a month.
Yeah.
Fucking girls is crazy.
Mug shouty.
Mug shouties.
Oh yeah, I got to the end.
the caption on the page is "Hope Bay gets bail." That's pretty funny. All right, that's funny. What you got, Jose?
Started Narcos.
Ooh, all right. That seems right up your alley.
3 episodes of that. Still need to finish Punisher, but the lady's been itching for Narcos, so we finally did it over dinner, and we just kept going.
I feel like you're itching for Narcos. You need to get a cream.
She's gonna end up on mug shouties.
What happened? Well, officer, she was
itching for Narcos.
Yeah. So it was pretty cool. I dig it. Escobar, man, he don't fuck around. He says no. And I got the thing wrong. It was, do you want silver or lead? You offer the silver first.
Oh, that's a line from Narcos.
Yeah.
Got
Now,
it.
y'all seen it?
No.
I have not.
No.
Oh, it's pretty good.
There's just too much good shit, man.
Yeah, there is.
It is pretty good. Like, shit was wild. Like, this was before they even knew what the fuck coke money could be. They said they were pulling in $60 million a week.
Oh God!
It got to the point where the guy was like, "You can't just keep spending money. Like, you say you have a taxi business, you have 3 taxis. You gotta lay low. You got too much fucking money." And he goes, "Stop being a pussy. Just bury it." So just hide it. Hide it. It doesn't exist anymore. His accountant he called Blackbeard not because he had a black beard, but because he had a pirate fucking treasure chest map of everywhere in Colombia they buried all of his money.
That is out of control balling.
Yeah. So he says, "I.W. Blackbeard."
Holy shit.
It's pretty nuts. Like, you know the story where they seized one of his plants and they got his guy Blackbeard. So he had like a warehouse full of just papers, and they hid them in like the city hall of Colombia, which they felt was the safest place because he owned all the fucking cops. This motherfucker hired a militia to attack City Hall with a tank, and they fucking blew up all the evidence.
Jesus Christ.
He said, "Okay,
oh my God.
I'll get to that evidence." And then they couldn't indict him. Evidence is gone.
Because he got blown up with a fucking tank.
Yes.
I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter because it's good TV, but like, did that happen?
Yes. No, that's real.
That's fucked up. That's so fucked up.
That's not television. That is fucking truth. Like, you can go look up footage of tanks just fucking bulldozing and shooting a tank, shooting at a building because there's evidence inside.
That's nuts, man. Holy shit, that's crazy.
Watching you, Orlando. I'm coming for your evidence.
Coming for that Photoshop chair photo.
But yeah, it's nuts. Just the balls he had. Like they got stopped for a check of the army. They were pulling rank because he owned all the cops. He paid for all. He bought all the cops. But these guys were like, we're these guys. We arrested these guys. Price went up. Blah blah blah. And he just starts naming off their family. He goes, "Oh, how's your mom who just got out of the hospital? Oh, and your kid? She just turned 16. Blah 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 blah." Like, pretty much telling them, "I will walk away. I will take all my shit. I will cross. I will smuggle this. You'll shut the fuck up, or I'll kill your whole entire family." And they said, "All right, go ahead." Yeah,
that's
good.
Super goddamn dark.
Just the balls this man had to just fucking do it, and then he ran for president.
Yeah, and in today's day and age, he would have won.
He got in. He got in. He fucking had a guy run, and he was declared the alternate. If for whatever reason this guy can't do his duty, I'll fill in for him.
He didn't do that duty, if I had to guess.
No. He won, and he said, "I have to retire for family issues." Like, it was all a work. And so he got in, and that's when they were like, "Oh, whoa. You know who the fuck this guy is? Do you know what we just did?" And then they had, that's where I'm at right now, is that era. But it's fucking nuts. If you want to see what a man who gives zero fucks and has more money than God, check out Narcos.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's one of those things that we want to get to at some point.
Mm-hmm. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's fucking nuts. I guess I think the first season is like his rise, his complete rise to dominance and everything that was going on. And the cool thing about the show is very well directed, interesting, but they cut in like actual footage, like Ronald Reagan talking about the war on drugs, and they're talking about that situation. Footage of busts, footage of some of the crime scenes.
That's cool.
Pictures of real life shit. So that's cool. Is that, it mixes that in.
That's kind of cool.
Check it out. We'll talk. But then I think the second season is like his downfall, and then the third season is the aftermath.
Huh. All right. Check it out someday. I think
You don't know how he died.
My pretty CW stories come back this week because I watch all my superheroes.
Oh.
Yep.
It's nuts. He gave zero fucks. That and Will and Grace is fabulous.
Oh my god.
We're talking about Narcos and Will and Grace. Jack's a funny guy.
The first thing Sheila said in the chat when she walked up in there, she says, "Will and Grace is a gem."
Oh, that Karen. I'll tell you.
Your boy, Sheila, your boy.
What a character.
What?
Right.
Wouldn't you love to just have a drink with Karen?
Yeah, why not?
One of my favorite Karen moments. I've seen some Will and Grace, you guys. I've seen some Will and Grace. Go fucking love Will and Grace. It's like, I forget the context completely because it doesn't matter. But she's sitting in like a lobby, some kind of like this like 12-year-old kid or something, and she's got this like skirt, just riding up her leg. She's got her legs crossed, and the kid's staring at her, and she looks at the kid. She goes, "It's good, right?" And the kid doesn't know what to say. He's like, "It's good, right?" It's funny, good stuff. Megan Mullally can get it. I'm just gonna say,
yeah.
Yes.
There's some episodes where she looks downright scrumptious.
on Parks and Rec. She's
on Parks and Rec?
Oh yeah, she plays Ron Swanson's ex-wife.
I think I have seen an episode.
She's Tammy too,
where she does that.
His second ex-wife, and she's the librarian.
I missed a lot of that show. That's one I might have to pick up. From
Parks and Rec is solid, man.
You're that punchable son of a bitch Aziz Ansari.
Yeah, I've been meaning to watch that second season of Master of None too, and might need to wait and see on this one.
Man, I never even got to finish the Louie.
Yeah, it's always the worst when you can't finish the Louie.
No one likes an unfinished Louie.
I was in a porn
Louie
video.
didn't even get to finish the Louie.
I was in a porn video store, and this guy asked me if I'd like to come home and finish the Louie in front of his wife.
The good old days, man.
All right, let's wrap it up.
I will say, watch Master of None before it's revealed he's a complete monster.
Well,
might
yeah,
as well. Maybe put Will and Grace on pause.
Season 2 is very good.
All right, well, I gotta get through Punisher first.
I think Finish the Louie is the name of the night's episode.
And it sucks because like
Thank you.
I'm really digging Punisher, but it's all three of us together at the same time. We're watching it is kind of halting it.
It's great. Satisfying all the way to the end. It's great. All right, let's call it. We'll be back next week and do it all over again. Email us, popcast@PanelsOnPages.com, or leave us a voicemail by calling 616-951-1POP. We'll talk to you fuckers later next week at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central at youtube.com/PanelsOnPages. For Jose Guzman, Jason Nyes, and Kelly Harris, I'm the Lord Reverend Lee Rodriguez. Love you. Night. Bye-bye.
That was wonderful.
Bravo!
I loved that.
Oh, it was great.
Well, it was pretty good.
Well, it wasn't bad.
Well, there were parts of it that weren't very good, though.
It could have been a lot better.
I didn't really like it.
It was pretty terrible.
It was bad.
It was awful.
It was terrible.
Get him away!